Differences between data and information. Data versus information. Data can be defined as a raw information that consists of basic facts and figures, whereas information can be defined as classified or organized data that has some meaningful value for the user. Data are the variables, either quantitative or qualitative, that aid in the development of conclusions or ideas, whereas information is a collection of facts that has meaning and news. The meaning of data is that it is based on recordings and observations that are saved in computers or recalled by humans and also serves no particular function, whereas the meaning of information is that it can be seen as less dependable than information. It enables the researcher to do an accurate analysis and carries significance that's been ascribed through data interpretation. The purpose of data allows organizations to establish baselines, benchmarks, and goals to keep moving forward, and also data allows you to measure. You will be able to establish baselines, find benchmarks, and set performance goals. Whereas the purpose of information is to turn raw data into useful information that can be used for decision-making, and data is in raw form, whereas information is not in raw form. The term data is derived from the Latin word datum, meaning to provide something. Data has turned out to be the plural of datum throughout time, whereas the term information derives from Middle English and Old French. The act of informing has been mentioned. It's mostly utilized for education or other forms of recognized communication. The format of data is represented by letters, numbers, or a sequence of characters, whereas the format of information is based on inferences and ideas. Data are represented in the form of tabular data, data tree, graph, structured, and so on, whereas information are represented in the form of thoughts, ideas, and language based on the data provided. The interrelation of data is the information that's collected, whereas the interrelation of information that's processed. Data is a single unit that is unprocessed. It has no meaning on its own, whereas information is a product and a collection of data that together contain a logical meaning. Data doesn't depend on information, whereas information dependent on data. Data is measured in bytes and bits, whereas information is measured in meaningful units such as quantity, time, and so on. Data cannot be utilized for decision-making, whereas information is widely utilized for decision-making. Data contain unprocessed raw factors, whereas information processed in a meaningful manner. The knowledge level of data is based on low-level knowledge, whereas the knowledge level of information is based on the second level of knowledge. Data is an organization's property and is not for sale to the general public, whereas the general population can purchase information. The example of data is ticket sales of a band on tour, whereas the example of information is sales figures are broken down by area and venue. It indicates which venue is beneficial for that company. Data by itself has no such significance, whereas information is valuable in and of itself. Data gathered by the researcher may or may not be beneficial, whereas information is helpful and valuable because it is easily accessible to the researcher. Data is never tailored to the exact requirements of the user, whereas because all unnecessary data and statistics are deleted throughout the translation process, information is always customized to the requirements and expectations. Kindly subscribe my YouTube channel Thesis Helper. Thanks for watching.